welcome back on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Right now, we are so excited to sit down with the Masterminds, Mark Fransman, as well as Chantal Willie Peterson, National Program Manager, and Ron Scott, who are behind the TransAtlantic Jazz Exchange. Now, this is a groundbreaking program that brings together world-class jazz musicians from the US and South Africa for a series of masterclasses and workshops, as well as, of course, live performances. So please, on this Wednesday morning, let's give them a feel-good welcome. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
Morning.
You're looking good. Can I just say that? First and foremost, when I walked in, I was like, who is this man over here? Is this what you look like on a Wednesday at 6 a.m.?
Not regularly.
Okay, so it's for us. You dressed up for us?
Just for you.
Well, let's get into this beautiful, beautiful, I'm going to call it a movement that you guys have created. It's absolutely stunning because when I think about music, it really is that bridge that brings people together. It's not just about enjoying some jazz, but also the initiatives that you do connect people, but also impact people. So can you tell me about the start of your jazz program and then also the impact that it's had so far?
Oh, well, actually, it was myself and Nastia Seria that we started this. We were talking about it for around maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And it finally came to fruition about 2 years ago.
Sure.
And our first person that had a residency in New York as well as Chicago was Mark Fransman, you know. So once we got it going, you know, we were up. Mark came to New York. He did a residency. He did some master classes at the Jackie McLean Jazz Institute and some organizations in New York City, Jazz Mobile and Jazz Workshop, and it's moved on from there. But for me, since I live in the States, when I came here last year when we brought Renee McLean over to do the master classes and workshops and work with some of the young people, that's when I knew we were doing something.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in your home,
Yeah.
you really don't see it, but then when you go to another country and you see young people and a smile on their faces listening to this music we call jazz, and you see incredible musicians like Mark, you know, and Chantal, and we had Renee McLean, of course, a legend here in South Africa, you know, and music is universal, you know, and that's what TransAtlantic Jazz Exchange is all about. It's universal, but little kids, they don't know jazz from R&B, from South African, Afro-pop, or whatever. They just feel the groove and they dance. And to see all of these young people dancing when Mark was playing last year, was, you know, I was like, okay, this is what this is about. It's about bringing students, bringing elders, bringing all of us into the music to share our cultures because, you know, we're so far apart, and it's like we hear all these things. Oh, well, those South Africans. Oh, well, those
What
Americans.
are they saying about us?
Right,
what are they saying about us, Ron?
And then when we come together, you know, through the music, you know, bridging that gap through jazz, then it all makes sense, and we can all come together. If we can't come together on politics or whatever, we could come together on jazz and work from there.
Absolutely.
You know, on a positive level.
Listen, the politicians need to chat to you because if things are going awry, it's the jazz. It's the jazz that we need. Well, we got to get into the jazz playing. I mean, Mark, you knew I was coming to you. I just want to find out a little bit more about your experience and also just that education that you get through jazz, you know? It is a genre like no other. Y'all are inventing notes from who knows where. So what is the value in jazz education for yourself and also, you know, the next generation?
Yeah, as an organization, we've actually been focusing a lot on mentorship and the idea of reinforcing mentorship. You know, South Africa's got a strong oral tradition in jazz, a long oral tradition and a strong one, and so does, you know, the United States. And we you know, the TransAtlantic Exchange, there's been a lot, you know, there's been a, you know, a lot of diaspora happening all over from South America all the way to North America. So this part of kind of a transatlantic movement, you know, I believe even with the slave trade, we weren't so much like, South Africa was more enslaved than, say, like people being enslaved, you know, with our situation. So you know, our exchange also focuses on like healing from that perspective. And also, when I was in the States, for example, I was spending a lot of time in underprivileged communities there as well. I was on the south side of Chicago, for example, working with kids, musicians that, and I was mentoring them from being from Cape Town, you know. So we, as far as education is concerned, we have this very like, we want to go back to where musicians can have a direct impact on the immediate society. You know,
Absolutely.
with Kojo and Antoine being here, they exactly in the same fold that we are in as far as that side of things. You know, a lot of us are self-taught musicians also, but we believe that there are some avenues within our communities that we want to reach where conventional education don't always go.
Absolutely. And I love your contribution and what you've said from first-hand experience. If we can just quickly touch on the date, Chantal, because I know you have a show happening this Friday. Please just drop those details quickly.
Yes, absolutely. So it's open to the public, and we want all ages, all communities to feel welcome. Today we start at Uriklili Primary in Khayelitsha at 4 o'clock, and tomorrow we'll be at South Peninsula for a workshop clinic, and then there's a concert at the St. Joseph Stone on Friday, and we're going to be in McGregor on Saturday.
Beautiful.
And in Johannesburg there's a series of workshops from Wits University to Benoni to the former Dr. Johnny Makwa School of Music, and it carries on through to Kafka and the Swane School of Music. So there's a wide array of public venues for people to come and really participate.
Be there.
Be there.
Be there. You heard it from them themselves. Cricket.co.za is exactly what you need to get into. And thank you so much. The best part, though, Mzansi, is that you get a front row seat into this beautiful jazz exchange that is about to happen. But I'm going to keep you waiting just a little bit longer.